Welcome to Best Path Forward, where we talk about personal development tools that we use to find the best path forward in hitting our goals. Today we have a repeat guest, McKeon. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. How you doing?
I am fantastic. I am shocked to decide to come back.
Well, I had such a good time the first time that I wanted to give it another shot. I think also you tricked me by giving me 2 dates.
Oh, this is my fault.
Yeah, we only discussed the first date, but I'm back to discuss the second, and I'm very excited.
I'm excited too. So the tricking of the 2 dates, you're talking about like the whole bike brain dates and everything that we use.
Yeah, you gave me 2, but we only discussed the first one.
I give 2 like as a backup just in case. Like if you pick a date and the bike brain kind of sucks that day, or I'm like, it wasn't as good, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, let's get a backup date. That's why I had 2.
Okay.
But now I'm going to start using it. Like, hey, there's 2 dates here. That means you committed to 2.
Yeah, it's a great tactic to get someone to come back.
I think it is. So once again, for people who didn't see the first episode, how about tell us your story?
All right. My story, let's see. I'm trying to remember what I said last time. Something along the lines of going through my life, finding the best path forward, and figuring out more of what I want along the way. And my life is a journey so far of self-discovery.
Self-discovery. All right. So when did you start this journey of self-discovery?
It's been a bit of a transition. I wouldn't say that it was one moment in specific, but just learning new things about myself along the way when maybe I achieve something and I realize, oh, maybe this isn't what I wanted, or I'm struggling for something and things don't go my way, so then I have to rethink my plan. Is this really where I want to go with my life?
Yeah.
And having a lot of those roadblocks come up in my life and really shaping my path forward to figure out what I want to do and where I want to be.
I think that's fantastic. A lot of people will hit a roadblock and they're like, I'm just going to fight through this roadblock as much as possible. And sometimes it's like that roadblock is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Make you just pause. You might have to fight that roadblock a little bit to kind of get through that. Or it might be like, hey, maybe I should be thinking about doing something else. So I think that's fantastic that you had the awareness to do that, raise awareness to this might not be exactly what I want to do right now, so let's do a little bit of an adjustment. Let's do a shift. Let's do an audible. So I think that's fantastic stuff. So you don't remember the whole spark of personal development for yourself?
Spark of personal development. You asked me about that last time. I think... Let's actually think about this.
Take your time.
Where was there a big change in my life? I think there was a couple of moments where I was sitting down with my life and I feel like I had everything that I wanted that money could buy.
Yeah.
But I wanted a little bit more. And things that I want more of is like a better mindset, more discipline. I wanted to be a little bit more fit, and you can't buy those with money.
No.
You know? I have all the clothes that I need, got the family that I need, I have everything, but I really wanted to just work on myself and be better. So going through that a couple of times, I had really 2 options. Just kind of keep going where I was or make some changes.
I think that's huge what you just said. I think a lot of times, especially younger people, younger driven people, they're like, I just want a massive bank account. I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, just so I can see it in my account. I'm like, but you could be doing the things that you need to be doing today. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons and takeaways from the whole stoicism thing. Ryan Holiday digested Marcus Aurelius, Socrates, and a lot of different Stoics back in the day. And it's like, well, all right, so what are their life lessons, right? And it's like, you have everything you need right now. So a lot of people will kind of wait until I want to wait until I have $1 million to do X. I'm like, but why do you need $1 million to do X? It's like, the money is not something that you need. It's something that you just kind of have this arbitrary goal for. But if there's something you want to buy that's $1 million, that's a reason. But a lot of people don't have that why behind them. And so I think it's fascinating that you said you had all the things that you wanted, but you're still kind of lacking that internal purpose, that internal drive to kind of really push yourself to the next level. I think that's huge.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I mean, I've been impressed with a lot of the changes that I've been making lately too. Even my family's seen it. They're like, I can't believe you're the same guy that used to do this and sit down and play video games all day or crush 2 bags of chips in one day. And
2 bags of chips in one day?
Now it's nothing to say no to a dessert when I'm, trying to reach my fitness goals, or if I got something and I got to be on the grind and I got to focus, maybe there's a month where I don't touch a video game because I'm so focused on my life and self-improvement. I would have never believed it if I told my younger self that that's where I'd be today. But I'm seeing results and I'm achieving everything that I want so far and making steady progress. So I'm as proud as can be.
McKeon, that makes me so happy. I do have one question for you though. So when you were crushing those bags of chips, what kind of chips were they?
Anything spicy.
Oh,
normally, Lay's or Ruffles. Those are the
Lay's
best.
or Ruffles?
Yeah.
All right, what kind of Lay's?
Always barbecue.
Barbecue?
Yep.
What about Ruffles? There's a right answer here.
Well, my new favorite flavor is Flamin' Hot Barbecue.
Oh no.
Yes, it's so good.
There's only one Ruffle anyone should ever eat.
Cheddar and sour cream?
Of course.
Yeah.
You already knew that.
Yep.
That was the main Ruffle
That was
that people
the
need to
OG.
eat.
That one was the best.
That was the best. But you talked about your family not recognize you. I remember back in January, back when you and I first started talking, of course, from the Gym Connection, you participated in the summer bulk, we didn't call it bulking. We called it the summer prep competition.
Summer prep competition.
And you went through a bit of a physical transformation yourself, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So was that part of like saying no to the Doritos, saying no to the video games, and actually kind of focusing on what it means to bulk?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a very funny transition of figuring out how to bulk and thinking, okay, I'm on a diet and I'm not eating junk food, but my goal is gaining weight. And I don't think those two things would ever go against each other. But with lean bulking and staying strict with the diet, I mean, that would be setting aside time to eat, even if I wasn't hungry, but making sure it was as lean as possible.
Yeah.
Sticking to brown rice instead of white, instead of, loading up on butter and anything for fats, like make sure that it's avocados or olive oil, anything that I could get healthy fats from. And it was a bit of a transition, but before then, I didn't even know what a calorie was.
Jeez Louise, that's wild. So what was your life like before you started bulking?
Before I started bulking, really I ate whatever I want, whenever I wanted. And I had some good regulation because I would still eat fruits and veggies and whatever.
Yeah.
But the family that I kind of came from is just like, eat till you can't eat anymore.
Oh my.
And that's great. I'll do that sometimes. You know? Sometimes I like to indulge and that's really nice. But being able to maintain and correctly portion out my meals is something that's just a lifelong skill, not even just for bulking or cutting or anything fitness related, just nutrition in general. That has been such a helpful life skill that I have learned, and I will carry that till the day that I die.
And I think it's cool that you had that life skill, and I think that skill is transferable to other areas of your life. And so when someone's looking like, oh, what's a calorie, right? You see like these nutrition labels. When you look at the calorie for like a gram of fat versus a protein versus a carbohydrate, I don't know if I'm 100% right on this, but the ratios are different. So carbohydrates and proteins, they have about the same caloric hit per gram. Fat is, I think, double that for the caloric impact. So people read these labels like, oh, so that requires a little bit of meal planning, right? So you have to kind of set some time aside before you even kind of eat your food. It's like, well, what am I going to eat? So the fact that you're raising awareness to it and kind of planning for it definitely helps supercharge your goals. And that's kind of a benefit that can go to other areas of your life too. It's like, oh, say for instance, I want to run a mile. It's like, what does that look like? All right, so 1 mile is a certain number of steps. If you've never run a mile, it's like, all right, maybe I can just run a tenth of the steps at first until my body gets used to it. Instead of just going out there and flailing. Because if you go out there and flail, chances are, in your scenario, you'll just overeat, eat way too many calories, and get into what we call the dirty bulk, which no one really wants. Or you're not eating enough food and you're not putting on as much mass as you want to. The same thing with like wanting to run. If you go out there and not doing enough, your body's never going to get acclimated to the new stressors you're putting on it. And then two, if you go too hard, you're going to injure yourself pretty quickly. And so I think you can use that skill for a lot of different areas. Just kind of raising awareness to it and figure out a plan to go forward with it.
I think a plan is one of the most dangerous tools you can go into battle with.
Whew, dangerous tools. Dangerous as in good?
Dangerous isn't good.
Yeah. I love whenever like in my day-to-day job or just in life, if someone's not prepared for something, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a rough time for you. Because before the meeting even starts, it's like, all right, what am I going to talk about? What am I not going to talk about? And what am I going to anticipate you're talking about? And you kind of have those three factors in mind, and you kind of prepare yourself for it. And you're ready for the meeting. A lot of people just be flailing during meetings. It's like, you just feel bad.
Yeah.
You feel people's attention waning and everything. So a dangerous person indeed is someone that is prepared. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, so aside from the bulk, what else have you been up to since we last talked?
Let's see. Aside from the bulk, I've been pursuing my education, trying to earn my PhD, applying to programs, making a plan, figuring things out, and then pursuing photography too.
All right, so photography, we did touch on that a little bit last time. So what does it mean to like photograph for you?
For me, I just enjoy photography in general. it's finding the best angle and sometimes looking through things at a different perspective that others wouldn't see.
Okay.
But being able to communicate something even without words. And I do that for portraits. It's a good side hustle. It makes some money, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a business for me to still feel fulfilled or satisfied with my work. I do a lot of photos of things that I just think are meaningful, powerful moments, family events, and or just taking photos of animals or nature. Just nature as it is, you know, Mother Nature. I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
But photography is definitely something that's taken up some of my time. It's been a passion of mine, and I've been into it ever since. I mean, I think since I got my first phone and got Instagram, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna upload my first post, and it was a photo of a dolphin that was playing in the waves that were being created by a boat that we were riding on, and it wasn't even a dolphin tour. Yeah, it was a deep sea fishing tour. And then they were like, oh, maybe we'll see dolphins. And then there it is, just right, 10 feet right behind us.
Just having a blast.
Yeah. I got one of the best photos I've ever taken, uploaded that, and I'm like, I want to do this more often.
I think that's really cool. And so you're out there deep sea fishing, and you see this dolphin, and it's like, that's a good shot.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, it sparked a new thing in you.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So aside from the dolphin shot, what's been one of your most favorite shots ever?
One of my favorite shots ever, let's see. I think I upgraded to a new camera. It was one that I was familiar with. I used it mainly for video and broadcasting. But it was a very versatile camera. It's a DSLR, Canon 80D. I trust Canon with my life.
Canon's what we're using to film this, so I also trust Canon.
Yeah. They're good. They've been around for a long time, but I got the 80D with a 135 millimeter lens. It's got some zoom on it, right? It's not the best zoom, but it's a very versatile lens. And I just wanted to get some macro photography done, like some up-close shots, and there was a bee pollinating a flower, and I got a photo of it.
What?
And the reflection of the bee's eyes, the color of its coat, and then like the deep purple color of the flower all blend together really good in the photograph. And I was shocked that it came out because it was so close.
Yeah.
So close to the bee. But that was one of probably the best shots that I've ever had, just with the framing of the insect and everything. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So I'd say that that's one of the ones that I'm most proud of.
So you mentioned a particular brand, and I assume you probably were you're in the market for a camera. Mm-hmm. And so this kind of goes back to your example of what you said with bulking. It's like you kind of have to raise awareness and do some research. You said you made the swap out from one type of carbohydrate being a white rice to a different type of carbohydrate being a brown rice because of the nutrient difference and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And so I assume you kind of took a similar approach to your cameras. And so just a lot of people, their biggest thing about cameras like, oh, I recognize brand names. And just because it's most popular, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best. And a lot of people are like, why do I need a camera? I have my iPhone to kind of take these photos. Mm-hmm. And so when you're kind of in the market for a camera, how did you approach that situation? How did you raise awareness to what was out there and what you needed for yourself?
Mm-hmm. I did a lot of research on cameras that I wanted. Money was a problem for the cameras because I bought mine when I was in high school. And I was like, okay, like it's going to be the biggest purchase of my life. It still probably has been one of the biggest purchases of my life. It was a little over $1,000.
Gee.
But starting was the most important part for me. Because a lot of times, yes, I do like to go in with a plan, but taking too long to make the plan is just a waste of time if failure isn't going to negatively impact you, right? Like I know it's going to be a good camera no matter what I get.
Yeah.
You know, if they have a big following, maybe they're not the best. They can't be the worst.
They can't be the worst, right?
So I went with familiarity, and I've been trying to get out of my comfort zone recently, so I'm more than happy to switch from Canon to something else if I know that it's better, even though I'm not comfortable with it. As long as it's a calculated plan, I'll do that. But I didn't really have a plan when I went in with the camera. I went with what I was comfortable with, but I knew what I wanted to do, which was take better photos, more quality photos, and start a side hustle with the photography business. So I just jumped in and did it, and it's been working out ever since.
So it's almost like a 180 of what you said, because I agree with you completely. Like we get a lot of information out there, mm-hmm. and now that we have these supercomputers in our hands, being our cell phones, mm-hmm. maybe back in high school, you probably had similar access to the internet. Mm-hmm. You can go out there and just Google anything, and it's like you get so much information, it's almost decision paralysis.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do in that situation. And I think a lot of times that we get caught in that, we don't actually make movement going forward in what we want to do. And so I love what you said, and you had a caveat in what you said. It's like, you know what, just do it. Just do the thing. And if it's not like a fatal thing, then just go for it, you know?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Don't spend that time just endlessly researching things. Give yourself a cutoff time. I think I read somewhere once that you need 75% of information to make an informed decision. So it's like, do I have 75% of the information? In school, that's like a what, C? It's like, do I have a C level of information to make a decision going forward?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, and it's not like a fatal thing, we're not doing open heart surgery here, right? It's like, all right, let me just go for it. If it's the right decision, awesome. If it's not, send it back via Amazon. You know, it happens, or take it back to the store. But you have to get started. So I think that's fantastic that you took that step, got the information you needed, had the name recognition, knew what you wanted, knew why you wanted it, and just made the leap.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think those are some really good thoughts. The decision paralysis.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to put it into words, but I really like that. And I definitely saw that in the past with a lot of decisions, or with anybody who has a bunch of tough decisions, and it's like, oh, you know, it becomes so overwhelming. You don't need to get an A.
No.
You know, 75% of what you need to know, like that's not much. You know,
Yeah.
I've studied for exams the night before and gotten a C before. So, I mean, it's...
And you passed.
Yeah, and I passed. And that's definitely a good way to think about certain things, especially when it's so overwhelming. But just starting is the most important part.
You just got to start.
Yeah.
And speaking of exams and everything, you mentioned 2 things that you've been focused on since ending the bulking. The first one was obviously your booming photography side hustle. And the other one was school stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us about the school stuff.
Absolutely. So as we discussed in the last episode, I am a medical microbiologist. I received a bachelor's in biological sciences, but I want higher education. I was pursuing masters, and I was lucky enough to get a PhD program to reach out to me, and I went through with pursuing the PhD, and I am going to sign the acceptance sometime soon. But it's been very exciting because the master's, getting that, and then going to PhD, that adds on 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yep, just to get the master's to help you get into the PhD.
Jeez Louise, where's that 0.5 coming from?
It's just 2.5 years. It's like an extra summer semester, maybe an extra fall or spring semester. It's just the 2.5 years that it takes to get the master's and then move up to the PhD. I'm jumping right into the PhD.
You're just jumping right in.
Yeah, absolutely. And they award a master's as a bonus if anybody, you know, happens to drop out. I've heard from that from a couple of people where they're like, oh yeah, I pursued a PhD and got the master's, but I want to go all the way because in my field, it's very important that you have the highest level of education, because the last thing that I want is to move up through a company or have access or the opportunity to pursue a role that I don't have the education for. And if it's an extra 2.5 years, if the master's 2.5 and the PhD is 5, it's an extra 2.5 years to make sure that I have the highest level of education to push my career forward. I'm going to seize that opportunity.
I think you should. I mean, you're worried about the future McKeon. You're worried to make sure that guy has everything he needs to kind of succeed in life.
Yeah.
So when scoping out a program that sounds to be about, 5 years? How do you do that?
So I got a very good opportunity, and I followed what I wanted to do because I feel like, and from what I hear, you don't necessarily need hyper-specific qualifications for a job.
Okay.
We have people that got degrees in IT that are working with us, and they are not doing IT work.
Yeah.
Right? They are doing stuff that is very analytical and scientific, but they are not working with computers for the most part. And same thing with the higher level jobs from the research that I've done. You say I want to work for a biochemistry company, and I'm not getting a PhD in biochemistry. Doesn't mean that I can't do what they do.
Very true.
I have related and necessary skills that I'm going to be able to build upon that they learn in their degrees. It's just the classes might be a little bit different. But specifically choosing what program, you have to choose it based off of the PIs, the principal investigators, who run the laboratories. Because when you're pursuing a PhD with the, I believe, thesis and research option to graduate, you are going to be under somebody for however many years that you're earning your PhD, and you are going to be doing research for them. And when you do research for them, it's going to be their research topic. So one person may want to study cancer and how it develops in the body. Somebody else might want to study mice and how they deal with certain mental disorders, and they try to relate that to people.
Oh, wow.
It could be anything. So looking into those, one of the most important things when you are researching and taking that much time out of your life to make sure that you are figuring something out and you're going to be that one person that knows the most about this topic, passion. Passion. Other than that, you get the paper, you get your degree, you get that title of doctor, and you can apply to anywhere that's within a relevant field. And I've seen that at these lower levels where, again, people in IT, They moved to our science field. People in environmental biology, we're not an environmental company. It's like
No.
environmental biology people. Just because you still learn those relevant skills that you need to know. And same thing when you're earning that higher education. It's really just making it the best experience for yourself. So for me specifically, I really like medical microbiology. And this was a roadblock that I hit where the PhD program that I got accepted to terminated. NIH cut all of the funding.
Wait, terminated as in the program doesn't exist anymore?
Done. Program does not exist anymore.
That's not super ideal for a program.
It's not.
Okay.
Not at all.
That's a big roadblock.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of PIs are really stressing because they have lack of funding and they haven't been getting as much money because the money has been shifting around and moving, so they don't have the grants that they normally have access to. So I didn't let that stop me though.
No.
I reapplied to the same school because I knew I wanted to go to that school. They reached out to me, we communicated, I applied to a different program that still had researchers that branched into the other program. So it doesn't matter which program I'm doing, I'm still going to be under the same researcher.
Yeah.
Whether it's medical microbiology and immunology, or it's cell and developmental biology, and that's the program that I'm in now. I reapplied against other people. It was more competitive than the last one. Still got in, and then I'm under the PI that I want to be under the most, which is super exciting.
Of course you got in.
Yeah.
You're a badass. You know that, right?
I do know, but I do try.
You do try.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a badass because you try.
Absolutely.
A lot of people will just rest on their laurels, but not you.
Yeah.
You're pushing it. Dude, congratulations on that. I'm going to toast you up on that one.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
It's been a grind, and I don't expect it to stop anytime soon. But with how I'm breaking my life into pieces and achieving my small goals, leading up to my larger goals, things are good.
Take care of the small things, the big picture will come into place.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that's good. Mm-hmm. And just kind of the last thing, and I'll stop needling for your information about you for now, that is.
Yeah.
What you said about the IT guys kind of transferring and kind of working in fields that aren't like their original fields as far as IT.
Yeah.
They may or may not touch computers, but it's not like their big responsibility right now. You know, it made me have a full circle moment to us having these transferable skills. It's like we kind of know this one thing just because you know it in like nutrition or know it in like running. That doesn't mean it can't be applied in other areas. So that was kind of like a full circle moment for me thinking about that. You're seeing that in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, yeah. So with these like transferable skills, it's been something that I've been able to apply, right? Because that makes me think about some of my goals have been being more energetic, being better at communication, and being able to socialize better, right?
Okay.
Because, I want to meet more people, I want to make more connections, and that's really applied to every single aspect of my life, right? So I go to the gym, I want to work out, buddy.
Yeah.
Talk to more people, you have more people to help spot you, right? I
Yes.
don't feel, uncomfortable calling out somebody that I worked out with the other week. I'm like, hey, can you give me a spot? Super friendly
And
environment.
they always say no.
Yeah, they always say no.
They always say no. They're like, no,
Really?
come on, you can get it by yourself. No, of course not.
Really? I haven't experienced that yet.
Oh, you must be lucky.
Yeah, it must be the way I ask. I don't know. You might need to change it up. But that, and then transferring those skills with, communicating to people, being respectful, and being friendly and approachable, transferring that to photography, right?
Yeah.
I'm selling my own business, and that was something that made me want to start this mindset of being better with first impressions, being more likable. Where I was applying for a job. It was a job that I really liked. I didn't end up getting it, but they asked me, they were like, do you have any sales experience? And I'm like, it really stumped me. I'm like, no, like I'm thinking like, working a sales job.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuck with me because I was like, do I have any sales experience? How can I be better for next time? When they ask me that in the next interview, I'm like, I own a photography business.
Yeah.
I sell myself.
Yeah.
I do interviews. Interviews are all about selling yourself. If you're writing a specific academic paper, whether it's for school and for a grade or if it's for research, you're trying to sell what you know.
Yeah.
And sales has kind of just become a part of my life, or making new friends, trying to be more likable, or trying to be able to bond with people, maybe even connect with others that you don't normally connect with, but maybe you need to know them or work with them on a certain project. Like, being able to sell yourself as a person, that is so important. That has connected a lot of different aspects of my life. And whether I, don't do the best job and I'm like, okay, like I can build upon this or do better, it still strengthens together all of the different parts of my life, whether it's applying for jobs, research, making friends, photography, all of them intersect with
Yes.
that one specific thing.
And the thing is, like you said, like even if I don't do a good job here, I mean, even if you fail at something, you're still getting experience points and leveling up.
Yeah.
And so all that experience can help make you a better person and help you hit your goals and that stuff. So I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Dude, that's good stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
So, McKeon, as you alluded to earlier, I gave you a double date as far as like 2 different days to choose from the bike brain entries.
Yep.
So, you have a second date to talk about today. And what date is that?
January 28th.
And that is of this year, 2025?
Yep, you got it.
All right, so 1/28/2025. So that's kind of the end of the first month in the winter tundra that we have in Ohio. So why does that date stick out to you?
That date specifically was my first time ever going to the Arnold.
What?
Yeah.
That is super cool. So what'd you think?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. It was really cool to be able to see just a bunch of people like competing and seeing like their fitness accomplishments. I liked all the brands and the free stuff. You know, we got a lot of merchandise, and then I saw a lot of familiar faces that I've seen online. You know, like Instagram influencers or famous lifters, and that was really, really exciting. And it was a really good opportunity to meet some heroes of mine.
Some heroes. So did the heroes live up to their expectations?
Yeah, yeah. And
All right,
they were
good.
small-time famous people. But it was cool to talk with people that you see on reels every day that I, get some motivation from, or they provide some inspiration. And I'm like, it's good. Like they're real to how they act, at least the way that they presented themselves. And I appreciate that because, sometimes you see somebody and you're like, I want to strive to be like that.
Dude, I think seeing people that you kind of like see on a day-to-day basis on social media, I mean, I think that's a proper way to use it. You see them, they're kind of doing the thing that you want to do one day. And it's like, oh, that's cool. You get to meet these people. So I got to ask you, what was your favorite interaction that you had at the Arnold?
Let's see. My favorite interaction? There was some... Let's see. Honestly, just talking to some of the lifters, and these were just like firefighters.
Yeah.
Not even super famous people, but like, they were just doing honest work, and I can just see that they're like training all year for this specific thing, and it just makes up a part of their lives. And I know it happens once a year, but like you can tell, like some of these people when they're what were they doing? They were deadlifting tires.
What?
Yeah, like
That's super
on
cool.
2 sides of the bar. It was just like these massive tires, and they were trying to get out as many as they could. And there was some smaller people where like I guess they had a reputation because I've never been there before, but they were like, oh yeah, these people like they're this one's stronger than she looks, and then she like gets like 2 or 3 more reps than the last person that was twice her size. And I'm like, that's absolutely incredible. And just talking to them and just seeing their passion for it. Despite the fact that, they don't have anything besides themselves just pushing them on for this one thing. I don't, as far as I know, I don't think they earn a ton of money from it or anything, but it's a very exciting thing to see people passionate about something and putting in the work and seeing the results that they've gotten.
I think passion, especially when you aren't doing it for like a paycheck, is huge.
Yeah.
And I think when people start getting a paycheck for their passions, it changes a little bit. So long as you stay focused on why you got into it in the first place, I think that's awesome. So sounds like you had a good time at the Arnold.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Dude, I think that's a fantastic date. So let's see what we have for the bike brain for that day. So January 28th, 2025. Is that correct?
Yep.
And it is a mind entry.
Yes.
So that's good. I like mind. So what I'll have you do is I'll have you kind of read the entry as I explain what bike brains are for those who haven't heard that before. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So here you go. So bike brains are a tool that I use to help process the world around me. It's a version of micro-journaling. They're usually broken down into 1 of 3 categories. Those categories are mind, body, and spirit. Mind is all about mental energy allocation. There's a lot of different rooms that we have in our lives, be it the workout room, the photography room, the going to school to research room, the PhD room. We all have to have these rooms in our lives, and we dedicate and allocate mental energy into those rooms. The next is body. Body is about taking a 360 holistic approach about your body. It's more than just calories in and then calories out through working out. It's also about how you sleep, how you maintain your anxiety, and even the environment around you impacts your body. And the last is spirit. And spirit is about looking at your own code of conduct, seeing how you want to operate and the rules that you live by. It's about diving into yourself to figure out that code of conduct. And the second part about spirit is reaching out. reaching out to those around you, trying to build a greater and bigger community. Because we're not in this world alone, and we get supercharged when we have other people along our journey with us. So McKeon, did you have a chance to read that?
Yes, I did.
All right, so what I'll do here is I'll read it for those who are listening. So January 28th, 2025. This category is Mind. And the title is Bridge Tunnel. The Lucius J. Kellen Jr. Bridge Tunnel is a 17.6 mile marvel made of roadways, including 12 miles of bridges and 2 miles of tunnels. Better known as the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, the architectural feat responsible for replacing the ferry system along the bay. This interconnected system allows for normal marine traffic to continue above the tunnel as motor vehicles continue unimpeded through the system of bridges and tunnels. Multiple goals were achieved through that system, an approach you can adopt. Think of ways to bridge your mental rooms to operate as a system to accomplish your goals. One example of bridging your mental rooms is looking to make a physical transformation. You have at least 3 rooms, nutrition room, workout room, and recovery room, that you will need to allocate energy to. When you combine bridges into a system akin to a bridge tunnel, you'll be able to cover greater distances, as well as a variety of goals. So McKeon, something you probably don't know about me. I used to be 272 pounds.
Really?
Yeah, I used to be huge. Like,
wow.
Yeah, it wasn't like jacked either. I was like, oh, you must have been huge. Like, no, it was like just like probably like on that morbidly obese scale of things. And I thought about this bike brain entry. And during this time frame, that date's significant to me because I think about 2 or 3 hours later, I was under the knife having surgery on my knee. And so I was biking, minimal, of course, because you can't drink water right before surgery. And I was like, man, I know I'm not going to be able to kind of have my main output of biking. And I probably couldn't lift weights a whole lot because like you're kind of like confined, at least for the first few days. And it made me think back to the day where I was like first making the decision to work out back in like high school when I was like much heavier. And I didn't have those other mental rooms set up. I was like, oh, let's just have to go and work out. I was still eating like garbage, still not paying attention to the other things as far as like recovery. I was like, oh, let me just start doing these exercises. And I thought about how much I had come from that time. It's like, oh, for me to kind of make these bridges connect, like, all right, workout room. You have to enter it like 5 to 6 times a week. Nutrition room is probably the biggest and most important room, something I didn't know back then because, you know, quote unquote, 6-packs are made in the kitchen. You can't outwork a bad diet. So it's like, all right, so what's this nutrition? Similar to what you said with bulking. It's like, all right, I can't just eat as many calories as I want because it's not giving my body what it needs. I have to be smart. I have to be tactical about these calories. And so for me, looking back in that time, I was like, oh, I had to start making smarter choices. Like, do I need fries or can I just do it with a baked potato? So yes, you're both potatoes, carbohydrates. Potato by itself is not necessarily a bad thing. But when we start cutting it up, also still not bad. Deep frying it in oil, on the other hand, that's where it starts getting a little problematic. Especially when they're salty and crispy and just eat them unlimited. And like, I had to like pull back and say, oh, that's probably not the best choice to make there. The same thing with the recovery room too. So I had to look at my sleep schedule as well. It's like, oh, you're not getting enough sleep. What happens during sleep? Not only does your brain start processing, getting rid of waste for the day, but your body takes time to heal. And your metabolism is like slowing down as your body's repairing the muscles and everything. Without adequate sleep, you're never going to grow. You're never going to lose weight. So like working those three together, I was thinking about that as I was biking before I went into the knife. I was like, oh, yeah, you're not going to have your big workout room like you normally have it, but you can still focus on your nutrition. You can still focus on the recovery. And because of that, I was able to kind of maintain my goals. And I also found that, oh, I don't have to bike as much as I normally bike to kind of maintain this level of fitness that I have. You can do other things to kind of substitute that out for it. So I think the coolest thing about the whole bridge tunnel is like, oh, once you start looking at your rooms and start connecting them, not only will you help supercharge your goals, but you'll think of other goals you didn't even have a thought of at first. And I think that was really cool for me to kind of have that experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So have you had any bridge tunnel experiences in your life?
Yeah, I mean, gym is a really good option because, you know, we have those different rooms where you need to be able to, you know, break them down, but also combine them to achieve whatever goal you have in mind. Nutrition, we discussed that. That's super important. And I liked where you were saying, like, you know, is the potato going to be satisfying enough or do we need the fries? Well, when you think about what you said earlier, the fats, the calories from those are double of
Yeah.
what the carbs and the proteins are. And I'm like, yeah, maybe you want to switch to the potato.
Yeah.
But nutrition has been a very important thing to me lately, as we discussed earlier, and it's been something that, again, I will carry with me for the rest of my life. But being able to modify that and also change it for the gym has been very important, because my diet now is not going to be the same as my diet when I'm cutting.
Yeah.
Or if I'm trying to maintain gain, that's going to be different too.
Gain. I love that word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nutrition is super important, but then also just the actual lifting aspect of it. I haven't done much weightlifting. I didn't know anything aside from maybe a couple of bicep workouts. Never touched a back muscle. I have no idea about the back. And then, I did some abs in high school, but other than that, I never squatted, anything like that. And I'm still getting information from people, talking to people at the gym, and just trying to figure out, okay, what am I gonna be able to do? How do I do this workout? Is this the good form? But just going in and trying it, gets me a little bit more familiar with the equipment. So, the nutrition, learning how to use the new equipment, those are two very, very good things on the way to getting a better body. But also, at the same time, when trying to achieve my fitness goals, meeting new people is also a good thing. And I think just kind of, it's motivation. And motivation is something that I've definitely been trying to find and figure out exactly what motivates me. And I think that I'm motivated by other people, but also I've gone through something where I'm trying to find my heroes. Meet your heroes, find them, figure out who they are. And for me, growing up, a lot of my heroes, they weren't real. They were animated, or they were people that I saw on TV, but I never really was proud of that when I was younger, because I'm I need somebody that's real, but I'm something motivates me, just embrace it. If my hero is the cloud god Luffy back here, then that's who it is. If that's what hypes me up to go to the gym, and if I think about that, or I watch an episode of Demon Slayer and I'm man, I'm hyped up and motivated, I'll use that.
Oh, you're wading into dangerous territories. You just opened the anime gate.
Yeah.
It's only been opened once in this whole podcast series so far. This is episode 11.
Yeah.
Only one episode has it really been opened up, and we're about to open it up now.
Oh yeah.
So I think anime is huge because let's just be honest
Let's
here. We all want to be Goku, Dragon Ball Z. It's let me go Super Saiyan, right? Or Luffy, anime people are just kind of reserved, modest, but they have these incredible strengths and gifts. And it's motivates you to kind of get there. So I don't think, those are heroes that people look up to. It's obviously they're not real life people, but it's kind of the mindset and how they carry themselves. When you look at Goku or even Luffy, they have whole training arcs. It's they're spending the time developing that mental room. It's for Luffy, it was hockey. For Goku, it was learning Kaioken. It's they had to spend time doing it. It's not just something they're just born into. They have to develop these skills.
Yeah.
So I think the coolest thing about having a mental room is that the mental room exists. But just like you have a room in your house, if you don't enter that room, you don't go in there, clean it out, make sure it's developed and furnished, it's never going to get developed. And so when you need that room, it will not be ready for you. The same thing goes for your mental rooms in life. Say, for instance, in school, if you didn't do the back-breaking work of researching and doing the studies and you get called to the task, it's you won't be ready at that point.
Yeah.
And it's because you didn't spend enough time in that mental room, allocating mental energy to that. And so another thing you said earlier, as far as your IT friends or IT colleagues at work, kind of working outside their normal, quote unquote, traditional IT roles, I think building a bridge tunnel is huge for your work environment because you have your workroom being all right, workroom's technical skills, what I need to do it. But it's also what I call the Game of Thrones rooms too. It's there's a lot of politics, whatever company you go to.
Yeah.
Big, small, whatever it is. It's you can be the smartest person in the world. You could still end up like Ned Stark at the end of season 1. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yep.
Yeah, Ned Stark, season 1, big character, big actor, and he just got beheaded.
Okay, so it's been out long enough that we can say that, right?
Honestly, if there's Game of Thrones spoilers at this point, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it was season 1. I feel like it came out in the early mid 2000s. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. If I get yelled at, I get yelled at. It's fine.
That's all right.
Yeah, but it's you can be the most knowledgeable person in the subject. But if you don't have the people skills or the transferable skills, if you can't bridge those two things, you're not going to get very far for where you want to go. And not that everyone wants to do that. Some people are completely comfortable in that role. And I support that 100%. You don't have to be someone that you're not. But if you have like bigger ambitions or different ambitions, you have to realize like, okay, I'm good like on the technical knowledge side of things. How do I develop these other skills too?
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
That's definitely something that's going to be one of my mental rooms once I'm pursuing my education, right? Because I'm going to be spending a lot of time on research and a lot of time in classes. Those are my two main goals, but I'm going to make sure that I build up my resume and my skills as much as I can. I'm going to have a TA position. I'm going to be a teaching assistant. It's leadership skills.
Yeah, it
teaching
is.
skills. I'm going to be able to add that and make sure that I utilize that time to not only support people around me, but to gain better skills as a leader. And if I can take on any administrative role, whether it's a lab manager position in my lab, if I can move up to do that, or being a part of any sort of academic leadership fraternity, or doing an internship where I can take on some sort of administrative role, I will do that in my free time because the time's going to pass anyway.
Yes.
Right? If I'm spending 3.5 to 5 years on this education and the time's going to pass and I'm, limited with funds and I can take advantage of these opportunities while I'm doing this, then I'll do that.
You see me get my notebook out.
Yeah, it's serious then.
The time is going to pass anyway. And it's so cool because I know you're about to embark on a 5-year journey right now. And a lot of people with like any like big task, you see it most routinely because we've been kind of ingrained and inundated with it in society. It's like, oh, school. 4 years for traditional undergrad, another 2 to 3 years for master's, 5 to 6 years for advanced degrees beyond that. It's like people are like, man, that sounds like a long time. But in my head, I'm like, oh, that doesn't mean that 5 or 6 years is not going to pass. Those time is always going to be going, no matter what you're doing. So the question is, how do you want to spend time doing that? You can sit and lament on the fact that you're not where you want to be in life, or you can realize like, oh, this is going to take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years to do that. Guess what? Those 5 years are going to pass anyway.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, we'll still be here as that time passes and not, our life gets cut short. But if we're lucky enough or we'll still be here, like that time is going to pass no matter what. So it's like, why not take the time to do the things that's going to supercharge and make the most use of that time? So I think that was huge what you just said there.
I mean, it applies to my life and it's really helped me.
Yeah. And kind of being in a TA position and kind of going to this program also helps you with your bridging your other room, which is like, oh, how can I make more connections and have more friends and everything?
Yeah.
Not necessarily that you'll be friends with your students, but it's teaching those skills. You'll have other TAs and your professor. You guys will probably talk and like, oh, give you advice in doing that. And like, it's just another avenue to kind of make friends because you're having those experiences. So you're putting yourself in these positions as well.
Yeah.
Are those positions a little uncomfortable sometimes?
It's always uncomfortable. I'm an introvert. Absolutely.
You're an introvert?
Yes, I am.
I am too.
Yeah?
No, of course not.
I'd actually believe it.
You would?
Yeah. Your personal development sounds absolutely crazy. If you're going from 200, did you say 70, 77?
Yeah.
Cutting down
272.
Cutting down to where?
It wasn't 277.
No,
That's
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, come on. How dare you?
We'll call it 270. And then cutting your way down, but then I'm sure you didn't start out this way. I'm sure you didn't start out motivated, disciplined, like that. That took work, that took time, and something instilled that within you.
Yeah.
And I think that's been like just over time progress, and same thing for me. Like I didn't start out extroverted. I wasn't comfortable talking to people. I didn't make a lot of connections when I was younger, but I knew what I wanted, and I knew that if I stayed comfortable, right, hiding away in my basement, eating junk food, playing video games all day. Yep, playing video games, that I wouldn't be getting what I wanted. So it's been a major goal to just always be outside of my comfort zone.
It's fascinating too because two things there. One, a guest on this show talked about the whole discomfort room.
Yeah.
And that was like his big framework. It's like, this is how I create the discomfort room. It's like doing the shit that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's good stuff. And then the second thing, as far as like playing video games, this is a bit of a shock to you, I know, but I'm also a gamer. I like video games, console more than anything else, not PC. PC is trash. It's fine. But it's
That's
like,
all right, I'm with you.
there we go. But the thing is, like, just because you're changing your relationship with something, that doesn't mean that it has to disappear.
Yeah.
And so while I don't play as much video games as I want to anymore, I like, not even want to. Want to is a weird thing there. I don't play as much video games as I used to in the past. I don't want to anymore because I have these other things I want to accomplish. And so I didn't necessarily get rid of playing video games because I didn't at all. I also have a gaming session that's fantastic, but it's changed my relationship with it. It's like, oh, just like having a Snickers bar. It's like, oh, am I never going to eat sweets again? No, of course. Am I never going to eat pizza again? That's dumb. It's ridiculous. But no, those are reserved for special occasions. Those are treats.
Yeah.
And so when you have that relationship with it, it's like, oh, I'm not having like a crash diet approach and getting rid of it all the time. It's like, oh, they're just for special occasions. So what's the special occasion justifying me to allocate time to do these things? And so I think once you start having those things with personal development, there are things that are going to go by the wayside, and there are going to be things that you choose to reduce time in. That doesn't mean it disappears. You can still have space for both. But realize that time is not endless on a day. Neither is your energy. Like, I know after a certain time at work, my brain turns to mush. Now everyone knows it. They're like, oh yeah, Dan's brain's turning to mush. I'm like, yeah, been at it for like 7 hours right now, so I'm gonna need a break. And so as long as you know that about yourself, like you don't have unlimited energy on a daily basis. You have to come back and take rest. Rest is important. And so just because you can't do everything that you want to do right now, one, it's not gone forever. You can still play the video games. You can still eat the quote unquote junk food. It's just about finding the proper balance for it.
Yeah. I definitely still don't play as many video games as I want to, but the thing I want most in the world is probably time.
Yeah.
Time would be better than anything, but nobody has more time than anybody else. You know, we've got the same 24 hours in the day. But I make sure that when I indulge in those things that I miss or I love, I make sure that it is the best experience possible. For instance, if I'm eating like really bad, it's gonna be with people. During a certain special event, it's gonna be celebratory. If I'm playing video games, I don't play video games alone, ever.
Ever.
Unless it's like a story that I'm really excited about and it's like,
Zelda.
you know, it's as good as a movie. Zelda. Could be Zelda. I'm not smart enough to beat this. Oh, I played them when I was a kid. I wasn't smart enough at the time to beat the Zelda games, so they made me frustrated. Okay.
What was the last Zelda game you played?
It was Twilight Princess.
Okay, that wasn't as good of one.
Really? I heard that was one of the best ones. Skyward
Said
Sword.
no one.
Skyward Sword
was
was
garbage.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then I
you
guess
gotta
I've
play
never...
Breath of the Wild.
Okay, I've never played Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild is good, but once again, it is a time suck.
Yeah.
It is a time suck.
But just playing with people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a social gamer now. I remember, I think there was a moment, and this was along the journey, right? You're asking for critical moments where that spark was there. I was playing Call of Duty. I love Call of Duty. And I was doing online matches, and then I'm just getting frustrated. I'm like, how do I get better at this game? Like, I want to get better at this game. And I'm like, okay, it's going to take a lot of time. I'm going to have to do some research to figure out, like, what other people do. I'm going to have to start playing more competitively. And I'm like, for what for me? You know, I'm going to be better playing online. But is that truly what I want? And if that's what somebody wants and they're the best in the world, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But is that really what I wanted? Or do I want more experiences? Do I have more fun being the best at the game when I'm alone? Or do I have fun just playing when I'm around people? And my answer to myself was, I guess I don't really want to be as competitive as I thought. I just want to be social. So I don't play those games unless I'm hanging out with people, because that's the only time that it brings me true joy.
You had a moment and you did that. You started with your why.
Yeah.
Fantastic book. So your why is like you want to hang out and socialize, and you kind of like ran to a conflict with it. It's like, I want to get better, but you couldn't figure out why.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't figure out why, it didn't align with your current why. And because of that, you decided not to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
Absolutely. I've seen that with my diet too. I mean, even when like, say I want some bad food.
Yeah.
But I just need food for the day, and I'm like, okay, my only option is eating out, right? And it's McDonald's, and I'm like, okay, do I really want bad food? Because it's not the best for me. I don't want it, and it's not going to make me happy. And that's a triple whammy that's hitting me. And that's another thing that I'm like, yeah. Then I'm like, dang, now I just don't even feel good after I'm eating it. And I'm like,
that part.
There needs to be another change. You know, if I'm doing something that normally brings me happiness that doesn't make me happy, same thing with playing the video games day after day, and it's not getting me anywhere. Figured out my why. I'm like, you know, why do I really want to eat this bad food? And then I'm like, okay, so it makes me happy, but it doesn't make me happy now. Why?
Yeah.
You know?
And once you focus on that why, it becomes so clear.
Yeah.
even if it's answer you don't necessarily want, it becomes clear. It's just raising awareness to it. Raising awareness doesn't make the decision for you. It just lets you know the potential outcomes of that decision. It'll either make you feel good or not so good.
Yeah.
But you still have to choose, and that's tough. It's like hopping out the matrix. It's like, oh, I'm out. Like, do I want to go back in or stay out?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
now that you know it's not real, it's like the decision is yours. You stay in the matrix or you go out of it. It's tough.
Oh, it's that discomfort, though.
It is.
You know?
Yeah, that real world in the matrix did not look pleasant at all. It looked very cold. Yeah, no one wants that.
I didn't finish it, but what did they choose? Did they choose to hop back in the Matrix?
You didn't
or-
finish which matrix? The first one?
I finished the first one.
Oh, I was about to...
Yeah, but I know there was more, so they could have gone back. They could have said F this in the
went
third
back in
movie,
every
and they
movie.
just they quit. And
They
went
went back in every movie. I forget why, but every movie like, yeah, we're the freedom fighters, but we're going to go back to the place where we're trapped. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went back.
I'm sure they were doing the right thing.
Sure, I think. There was, yeah. And then they had a fourth one. It's fine. Neither here nor there. So, McKeon, thank you for indulging on not only Bridge Tunnel and the story, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, but also anime, Goku, Luffy, the highs and lows of the Matrix. Sometimes there's more lows than highs. We appreciate you doing that. And so I guess this is your second time here, so the pressure is on.
All right.
Yeah, the first time you told us about the Killing It tool, and I freaking love that one. So what do you have for us today?
Let's see. Trying to transform this into a tool. Let's go back to the time is going to pass anyway.
I love that quote.
Right?
That was the thing I wrote down here.
Yeah.
Did you look? Hang on.
Yeah, that's my little
Stop
cheat sheet.
it. No, it's not it's my cheat sheet. All right. So the time is going to pass anyway.
Yeah. This comes to mind as I'm thinking about it now. The other day, I was in the gym, and I don't like leg day. And I'm going down this spiral of I don't like leg day, and I don't like not using machines, right? I prefer leg press over regular squats or anything like that. And I also don't like lunges. Those are my three least favorite things stacked on top of one another. But getting outside of my comfort zone, like I said, has been a very important thing. So the other day I did lunges with a heavier weight than I normally do, more reps than I normally do, and I did it until failure. And I just collapsed on the ground, and set my timer. I have an hour and a half of a workout every single day, and I have a minute and a half between each set. And as I collapsed, I set my timer, and I'm like, all right, this is a need. It's not a want.
Yeah.
This is a need. That's how I frame everything that I want to get or anything that I want to do. It's like I have to. It sucks. So what? I need to get it done. And with that amount of time, I try to put myself in the gym specifically, and that applies to all areas of my life. But setting myself up for the most success, even if it is the most uncomfortable.
Okay. So you have an hour and 30 minutes of workouts per day.
Yep.
And then a minute and 30 rests between.
Yep.
So that's 90 minutes of working out and then 90 seconds of rest period. So why 90?
90, honestly, that's just the research that I've been doing. I separate my workout into push-pull legs, and a lot of people say that's a bit of an older routine. Again, it was just something that I've heard from a lot of people that like, oh, this is a good workout to do. It's what I started with. I'm not opposed to changing up my routine, but it's been working for me lately. And until I run into a roadblock, I'm not really going to change it because I've been making a lot of good progress. And I'll get out of my routine eventually, but that's just the amount of time that it takes for me to be able to get all of those muscles done within that specific day. And then the minute and a half is specifically because I did research to see how long you should be waiting in between sets. And I find that's the optimum amount of time that I should be able to wait in between working out so that I can still get out as many reps in between the workout and recover at the same time.
All right. I think it's good that you just didn't haphazardly choose 90 and 90. It's like you did it based on research. You kind of picked some time or took some time to kind of really think about it. You didn't get caught up in decision paralysis. So you hear people say, oh, you can do everything you want in 45 minutes. Or it takes you 4 hours in the gym. You're like, all right, there's a lot of different thoughts and opinions out there as far as like what is an ideal workout time. 90 was for you. You took the lunge. You kind of stopped at that C average, 75% of enough information.
Yep.
It's like, all right, we're good. And it's longer for you. And the same thing with the rest period. You heard people say, oh, superset everything. Never take a rest ever, and then other people say, go ahead and take a good 4 to 5 minutes in between sets. It's like what you saw was 90. It was kind of in line with what you were looking for, and it's been working for you. Now, the big question is, you started to do things that you didn't want to do, and that includes you say you don't like leg day at all.
Leg day sucks.
You hate things that aren't on machines.
Correct.
And then you also hate lunges.
Yep.
And so you did the exact opposite of that and almost killed yourself on lunges. Why did you do that?
Because I want to get outside of my comfort zone. They say that, what is it? Comfort is the enemy of progress.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not.
Oh, I hear you. That's why you have to get out of it.
Yeah, that's why I need to get out of it. So if I'm doing the same workouts every day, my body's going to grow accustomed to that. And I'm going to get used to it. And if I'm not putting myself in these uncomfortable scenarios and I stick with machines, I'm not going to be utilizing those stabilizer muscles as much as I can. So just because I'm not familiar with the equipment or I don't like them doesn't mean that they're not going to benefit me. So being able to do that every day and do something that I'm uncomfortable with, but also do what's best for me. And those two intersect. Sometimes what I'm comfortable with is the best thing for me. But being able to know that those two things intersect and go through with it, that not only helps me be the best version of myself because I'm doing the best workouts that I need to be doing, but I'm in an uncomfortable situation where I'm going to push through it, and that will help me and apply to anything that's an uncomfortable situation in the future.
And this kind of goes back to what you're saying about the TA thing, and this may be where you're headed with that quote, that the time is going to pass anyway.
Yeah.
You have a PhD program that's going to be about 5 years, and you could be doing the bare minimum in that 5 years, or you could be doing things that you want to do to help make sure that future McKeon is taken care of.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're taking the approach of doing the things that's going to make sure future McKeon is taken care of.
Yeah, of course. And even between workout sets, I try to find time, and this goes along with like time management and multitasking. But if I have a minute and a half between every set, what can I do? I'm resting, and you can multitask with that. If I'm sitting down and breathing, I can add something onto that. So what I normally do is plan out my day, respond to text messages, I look at reels that somebody sent me, or send emails, anything like that I can do in a minute and a half, I do between those sets. And I set a timer so that I know when the next time to start my set is. But it's very helpful to get a lot of things done, because let's see, minute and a half times however many sets that I'm doing, that's enough time to be able to do something. It's just broken into smaller chunks, and it's just, again, that minute and a half is going to pass anyway, so I might as well try to do productive things in my day, so either I have some extra time in the end of the day to relax or to do extra things and squeeze in as much as I can. Even when I'm driving and I'm listening to a podcast, like, I'm learning new things, right? Like,
You're
it's not
layering.
Yeah.
So you're using your time efficiently instead of like just throwing it away. It's like, how can I stack this? Like, for instance, I want to have a commute no matter what.
Yeah.
How can I learn during the commute?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that's good.
It's been audiobooks recently. I started Lord of the Flies.
Oh no, that's a dark one to start with.
Yeah. I've had the book sitting in my room, and I don't have enough time to physically read.
Yeah.
I'd like to set aside the time, but I don't think having the book and driving at the same time would be the best idea.
I would not recommend that.
I settled for the audiobook
purposes.
Yeah.
That's a happy compromise, middle ground there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please don't get in an accident because you're reading Lord of the Flies.
No, of course not. I don't think the law would understand that either.
The law should not understand that, and then you will have your own like little Lord of the Flies scenario and start fighting back. I'm like, I don't need to see this news article at all. It's fascinating because I think you came up with a pretty good tool. And I think there's just two things to kind of think about in your tool. I have a name for it.
Yeah?
It's called the 90 by 90 tool.
All right.
You get the 90s?
Yeah, I get the 90s.
Yeah, so the first one is focus on the 90 minutes. That time is going to pass anyway. So that's the overarching framework here. If that time is going to pass anyway, for you to really go to where you want to go, what can you do to make sure you're outside of your comfort zone? So in that 90 minutes, what can I do to make sure I'm not doing things that just make me comfortable? Because comfort is the enemy of progress. And if I'm trying to progress, I have to get a little uncomfortable. So that's kind of the first step, right? Look for those things. The second step is, what can I do in that 90-second? And so that's the second thing. How can I like start stacking things? For you, it's like, all right, I'm going to have to drive anyway. Might as well add on something on top of that to help develop myself. Same thing in the gym. You have these 90 seconds. For me, for instance, I use that time in my rest sets to go talk to people, see how they're doing. Sometimes it goes longer than 90 seconds, and I am 100% okay with that, right? For you, it's like, all right, I know eventually I'm going to have to respond to these people. Let's go ahead and do it now because I had this rest time. I'm not supposed to be lifting, so let me go ahead and just step out of the workout mental room, focus on like just responding to people. I assume you just have some type of timer going on, and then once that timer's up, you get back to working out and kind of like going back to the other aspect of the 90.
Yeah.
McKeon's 90 by 90 tool.
90 by 90. Yeah.
I think that's fantastic.
That's great.
Heck yeah, brother. Well, if nothing else, I'll cheers you out.
Heck yeah.
Thank you again for being a fantastic guest per usual.
Much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Thank you for hosting.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Well, that was a blast. Thank you for watching and listening to today's episode. Chances are you're looking to embark on your own personal development journey. I'm not going to lie to you. True personal development is hard, and it's supposed to be hard. That's because you're not only changing who you are, but how you operate. The aim of this podcast is to give you a community of people that are striving to do the same. So like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, comment below on how you plan on using today's tool to find your own best path forward. We'll see you next time.